pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
and the roll.
Belzak,
Here.
Gustafson,
Here.
Kenny, absent. Legansky, absent. Shower,
Here.
Stompanato,
Here.
Sullivan. Here. 5 present, 2 absent.
We have a quorum. That takes us to questions and comments and announcements of a general nature. This is on the agenda to allow anybody who's in the audience to come forward and address the council on any issue. Doesn't have to be on our agenda. It could be something that they just want to present to the city council, a concern that they have. And they can do that now. Now would be the time we would do that. Just come forward and state your name.
Good evening. My name is John Yurchek. I live at 700 Somerset Lane here in Darien. Lived here all my whole life. What I'm looking for is on Farmingdale Drive. Obviously, it's one of the most busiest streets that go north and south in our community. I've talked to Jerry Legansky about this, about providing a sidewalk on the west side of Farmingdale Drive, which connects addresses 7622 Farmingdale and 7726 Farmingdale. Those sidewalks are there, but there's a lot of grass in between there. I don't want to throw my wife under the bus, but she is one of those that fell through and one of the holes there between those sidewalks that are not connected. I know there is obviously we know there's a Farmingdale condominium about back of their place, so it's not the front of theirs. But just like on Nantucket, we have a connected sidewalk that way. Going to now paying for this, my main thing is street enforcement. I've seen a lot of the same cars on Farmingdale Drive, just south of 75th Street, between 75th and Walnut. There's a pickup truck that's been there for 2 months. I go up and down Farmingdale Drive probably 5, 6, 7 times a day, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning on my way to work. I never see a ticket on these cars. Now, I understand you can call in advance, the 3 days, just like we've been doing this for the last 33 years since I've been living here. But it's just the same cars. I mean, there's just no skin in the game when it comes to these apartments. They don't care what's on the community. They're just sitting there parking on the street. There's plenty of spots in their parking lot. They have landscaping. If they need more parking spots, they can cut into that. And we've seen it in January when we're doing the snow plowing. You got snowplow guys. Our streets and sanitation's fantastic. Our police enforcement, fantastic. I think we get the best bang for a buck in any community. Our communities my businesses are in Hinsdale and Western Springs, and we don't get the services that we get here in Darien. So I want to thank you guys for that. But going back to the sidewalk is what I'm looking for. It's been vacant there for many, many, many years. And I would think getting more people off the street of Farmingdale where it's very busy would be a good idea to at least get them on the sidewalk.
I'm trying to get a picture in my mind of what you're talking. You're not talking about Farmingdale Drive to 79th Street. You're talking about the other towards 75th Street.
It's just on 79th Street, between 79th Street and Walnut.
It's actually Walnuts, the first couple hundred feet on Walnuts south. And I can comment on that, Mayor, if you'd like.
Is that in front of York's house?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Is that where we redid the bridge?
Yes, yes. This is on the western side of Farmingdale Drive. And if I may, the area is very it's a floodway. Okay, so there's a lot more that goes into that floodway, putting a sidewalk in. So it's not your typical just put a connector in there by today's regulations. That one also would have to be okayed by the Army Corps of Engineers, believe it or not.
Gotcha.
That's right.
Again, our policy has been that if they're neighborhood sidewalks, in other words, we did one on Clarendon Hills Road on the east side from 67th Street up to Plainfield Road. There was a quadrant there. The entire eastern edge of town, all the way up to Route 83, did not have a place to get to a primary sidewalk. So while that is in place now, and Clarendon Hills Road is obviously a highly traveled road, whereas Farmingdale, there are the opportunities to be able to cross within 100 feet of that missing link there.
Gotcha.
So unless the policy, has changed or the practice has changed, that sidewalk would be eligible for resident reimbursement. What is the neighborhood? I don't know. We would probably take a petition and see how many people would be interested. Is it $50 per person or is it $2,000 per person? And who is the audience?
There's nobody right there.
I know there's nobody right there. I understand. I'm saying the sidewalk would have to be paid by the people that have the interest. So whether it's that block or it's a petition from 50 people.
Gotcha. All right. Dan, I knew you'd have a good explanation. And I appreciate what you do for the town.
And I could follow up, I could follow
Yeah.
up with you if you want to leave me your number and all that good stuff, all right?
I appreciate
Dan,
Thanks,
how much sidewalk are we talking about? Because there's sidewalk there, but then there's disconnects of
About
sidewalk.
300 feet, easily 300 feet without not pulling it on Google and, or on my GIS. But it's easily at least, 300 feet.
Are people walking in the street because there's no sidewalk?
Well, yeah, well, at times there is, yes. And there's some people that stop and some people that just keep walking through the grass.
But there is a sidewalk, but there is a sidewalk on the east side.
Correct. And which is very nice that they actually just now put a little jetway through that goes now.
Yeah, we've been looking at connectors. That's one thing we've been concentrating on is connectors now and eliminating connectors just due to leading residents nowhere across the street, so.
And if there's anywhere that is a flood area, which is that area which there is a sidewalk, this part that's not a sidewalk is actually higher ground. But,
100% correct.
so,
By the way, I like your shirt. I agree with that.
life is great, actually. All right, I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anyone else?
I was just gonna make a comment on that. I've walked on the other side of the street, and some of those streets are not really, sidewalk is not really level. I went flying with this thing up in the air and landed because of a bump. So I was, as a side, I'm curious how they determine whether or not the sidewalk's in Darien. I know every once in a while they come along and they straighten them out, but how do they decide if it's still level?
Let me have the address and we will take care of that first thing in the morning and get back to you. So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna let you write down your name and number and I'll follow up with you tomorrow morning to what we're gonna do about it, okay?
Is there anybody else who would like to address the council on a non-city council issue, agenda item? Just state your name, sir.
Hi, my name is Jim Komek. I live at 1102 Hinswood Drive, the Hinswood Park condominiums. In front of our condominium, there's a ditch that runs through Darien, and it ends on the west side of our property. And there's like 5 huge cottonwood trees there, which if we have another windstorm, it'll come down on our buildings. Plus, there's smaller trees along, there's a fence that blocks off the view of the ditch, and there's smaller trees along the other side, and they're actually pushing the fence down. So I don't know if that's Darien or if that's,
Here you go, sir. Let me get your name and number too and we'll give you a follow-up on that one as well.
Everybody pick on Dan.
He's the answer man.
While he's doing that, can I ask Chief a question? about the parking on Farmingdale Drive. People can't just keep re-asking for the 3-day, right? Isn't there like you can only do it so often?
5 a year,
Well, yeah, we'll follow up with that.
a month,
So,
one a month,
Okay.
and that's for 3 days?
Yes.
Once a month for 3 days.
So if someone can,
If that's there, we will take a look at it, I'm sure,
okay,
not
right, so if someone can't just keep going back in and say, you know, I need another 3 days, I need another 3 days. I mean, right, okay, so if there's vehicles there
been
that,
there for 3 months, it needs to be taken over,
okay. And do we ever tow vehicles if they,
not usually.
okay. So what happens, there's a vehicle and we keep ticketing it and they don't pay the ticket? Like in Chicago, they put a boot on your car and they tow you.
Collections.
Collections.
Also, the ability to revoke, license plates for non-payment of, fines.
So you can revoke license plates, okay, but we won't tow it.
Correct.
Is there a reason why we wouldn't tow it?
We'll go through an administrative process if you wanna, start
No.
one of your vehicles.
Yeah.
That is,
That's not something
has to be
we,
an ordinance for that.
and there's no ordinance for that. Okay, thanks.
Anything else? Any other questions for?
Lady's holding up her hand over there.
Yes, ma'am.
The only other issue I wanted to bring up, and I don't know if it's already been discussed or whatever, but I wanna go and state that I don't want any data centers in Darien. You know, if,
Don't worry about it, we won't get them because we don't have room for them.
We have no land for it.
well, that's good, but I mean, they're a nightmare, so it's good.
Room.
Okay. Anything else? Just state your name, please.
My name is Thapun Biswas, and I came here to raise the issue in Gale Avenue, which is in between Plainfield and the Cache, that areas. When the heavy rain happen, and there is an accumulation of the water, even in the backyard, front yard, at least like an hour and a half or maybe 1 hour is built up. And sometimes that creates the problem of the flooding in that area. And if I look at that landscape, basically, Gale, this side is a cache, is like this. Other side is a, I don't know the street, that is basically both side is high and this side is the low. And my understanding, I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a, like engineers, but my feeling that happens because the water from there, here, when the heavy rain comes, drainage system cannot just remove that, and all the water come there. And because of the high, sometimes window get broke, any leaks, and frequently happening. So that's why I raise sometimes to the city, and city, they don't know exactly, they don't know the money or how to actually, Dan I mentioned actually, Ryan I mentioned, this is not our department. So I'm just wondering that area, they can take a look and can make more efficient the water drainage system.
Mr. Gondar.
Thank you. So, Pam, with all due respect, we've been out to your property several times. I personally have been out there as well. I've told you in the past that your grading needs to be regraded. We made the opportunities for water to be accepted from your backyard and Cass Avenue out to the front. The side yard has no pitch from the back to the front. So unless you're gonna help yourself at this point, we can't help you anymore.
Okay, so they not only that, but other houses in that areas.
I have no complaints from any other
No, I'll
houses.
check that because they mentioned to me, then I check with them.
Those are tenants of yours that,
No, that is another, I don't know their tenant or some.
your house on Gale is a tenant's house, correct? You don't live there,
I
right?
don't live there.
Right, okay.
But the next to other houses, they told me.
Again, I have not heard
Okay,
that at
no,
all,
I'll
so
see.
have
See,
them
if
call
the-
me.
If the nobody has a problem, then that is my problem. And if the other people has some, I can ask them. And my
Just have
thing
them call me. I don't need you to ask them, just give them my number and I will
is-
deal with them
Right, right.
directly.
Thank you, but other question happening, that when the back, that whole areas, next time I'll take a photo maybe, is if is the water is in the backyard, not only that house, many other houses. And that is a drainage problem or not a problem?
It's not Darien's problem. We have programs in place as well, pending on what the criteria is. In your specific case, it's not eligible because there is no grading, and all the grading basically affects the back of the house to where it has the opportunity to have, I'll call it minor flooding or flooding period or saturation within the foundation.
Okay, that might be the case then. Yeah. But only things is happening because of this issue, I think that both water coming both sides, so.
Again, yeah, the same answer.
Yeah, okay. So compared to the other drainage system, this one is more robust drainage system, I think.
No, it's not.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, receiving of communications, all the people have communications they want to share. Mr. Gustafson.
Yeah, I had a conversation with the grandmother that lives on Wakefield Drive. Her 13-year-old grandson, riding his friend's e-bike, ended up in the ER due to him using the front brakes and flipping over the handlebars with he had no helmet on. The friend actually switched the brakes to which side's left and which is right and how to flip, so it confused the kid. So he hit the wrong brake and went over the top. He had a mild concussion, and I spoke with the grandmother, and she wants laws to prevent the younger children from riding the bikes altogether. I think, Chief, is there something going on with the state of Illinois now with?
Yeah, there's legislative changes that come out July 1st, and Deputy Chief Jump, when he has an opportunity to address the council, he's going to address the e-bike updates and what needs to change in our ordinance to be in compliance with the new state law that comes out July 1. And he'll also talk about the monitoring of traffic volume and speed when he has an opportunity. So he'll update you.
Yeah, because he was, the young man was pretty seriously hurt when he flipped over the handlebars. And
How old was he, you know?
13.
13.
13-year-old.
Anything else, Eric?
That's it.
Anyone else? Okay, takes us on to the mayor's report. There is no mayor's report. This is city clerk's report. Jessica? No. How about city administrator's report?
No report, Mayor, thank you.
Okay. Takes us to department head information and questions. We have the May report there. Does anybody have any questions regarding the May report?
I just have to comment, the police civilian appreciation week was last week. We have a police week in May for sworn. I think the week or 2 weeks before that is 911. I think a couple weeks after that is individuals that worked at jail. And I appreciate the opportunity to thank our non-sworn personnel. A lot of times they're the unsung heroes. You see the monthly report that's put together by a records clerk. The data that goes into putting that monthly report together as a civilian employees, the data that comes out from that, regardless of what it looks like, whether it's crash data, crime data, all those different types of things that Deputy Chief has an opportunity to look at and respond to, or a sergeant has an opportunity to look at and respond to. That's all there. Administrative manager, supervising records, making purchases and other duties. We have a civilian property handler, so that takes care of all the evidence, whether it's coming in, or all the property, whether it's coming in as evidence or safekeeping. He manages that, and obviously that saves a lot of sworn officers' time handling those things. CSOs, a social worker we've already talked about. So we're very happy and appreciative of the non-sworn personnel.
Thank you.
I have a couple other things, not in the monthly report, because it occurred on Saturday, June 6th, and I think a couple of aldermen attended the Cops and Bobbers events. I had a wedding that day as well as a high school graduation, so I couldn't make that, but I'm told that 30 kids and their families came out. The least amount of fish caught was 5, and the most caught was 17, so must be a good lake to fish in. Our officers volunteered for that event, so we're very appreciative of the officers. Our social worker came out for the event. The feedback from people that attended was extremely positive and grateful. The poles were furnished by Bass Pro Shop, so I'd like to give a shout out to Bass Pro Shop. Our officer Pasick, who's an avid fisherman, provided the bait, so thanks to Officer Pasick and like I said, the other officers that showed up for that day. The giveaway items were a big hit as well, and obviously we come to you every budget year and ask for yourselves to fund a community fund. We use those expenses, and this is one of those times where we use those expenses that you authorize, so thank you to yourselves as well. So that's it for the monthly report and my update. If there's nothing else, then I'm going to kick it over to Deputy Chief Jump, who has a couple things to talk about. One is the e-bike legislation, and you'll know that a 13-year-old, it's really easy for him to ride, but like I said, Deputy Chief Jump will talk about that. And then the other one item that he'll talk about is monitoring of traffic volume and speed. And Dan's been talking a lot and doing a lot of work, but if he needs to, he can jump in and talk about CLOA and how his duties may be reduced because of this program. So I'll let,
Deputy Chief Jump presented this to Brian and presented it to me. Brian actually saw the program. Austin actually described it for me. I think you're going to be real impressed with this. This is AI at its best.
But can I get the TV story?
It's always a nerve-wracking part, you
They're
know,
on.
it's like,
Dan volunteered to act it out, if you could.
Sorry,
I
actually.
can't tell if they're on.
It's on.
They're on?
It's a blue, well, that one's got a red line.
That one's off. Now it's on. There we go. Like, good.
that's part A.
It's on now. Two different ones. Yeah, that doesn't matter. It's on.
Is your laptop on share screen?
This is the first thing they have to learn before they can become chief.
Is that what that is?
It still gets confusing sometimes.
Anybody can fix it. AC Jump can. Very, very talented.
Dan has his report while Austin's fixing that, Dan.
Yeah, but recent storms, just real quick, a couple things on recent storms. Obviously, we were very, very fortunate. Minimal impact, whereas around surrounding areas had some major impacts. So we did not.
got hit hard.
So we did not authorize a special brush pickup, and we do understand the need for brush pickup, so residents, you can start bringing your brush out there due to, some unique circumstances everyone may have had. Other than that, questions on concrete, we're working with concrete currently. Roads are being resurfaced, we're putting a schedule together for grinding on sidewalks. Some rear yard drainage projects, couple bigger projects that we're in the works of. So that's all we have going on this week. But if there's any other questions, be more than happy to entertain you.
I had a woman call me on Friday. She wanted to know if I could come out and remove the branch that fell into the street by her house. And I told her I couldn't do that. But I did let Regina know the woman's address, where she lived on Pinehurst. And from what I understand, Public Works went over there and they picked up this large branch from her backyard.
And my wife was coming back from a storm on Walnut, and she goes, "There's a branch in the road." So I go, "Well, take it off the road. What do you want me to do?"
I'm sure Lil loves
Obviously,
that
that
one.
didn't work out too well.
When you came to.
Dan, when do you think ComEd's gonna start moving stuff?
Well, I just had a conversation with Adriana on prior to the storms. And prior to the storms, supposedly we were supposed to be in
See it on your side.
this next week.
Okay.
Next week. Now, due to the storm, we're gonna be back to a July 1st schedules. So it's really disappointing, that's all I could say. And I mean, I understand, everybody needs power and that's a priority, but it's just a shame that it takes so long for certain things.
Once we do get the power lines moved, that'll get things moving a lot quicker though.
Definitely, because we have to, where the lines are, or where the poles are right now, we have to do some ground stabilization at those exact locations, and obviously, we just can't skip those locations, because it's a pattern that needs to be followed for the wall itself.
Gotcha. And when do you think the Shell station will be completed, ballpark wise?
Good question. I think they're behind right now. I'm gonna say at best August.
Okay, because they're doing a lot of remediation over there.
There's remediation. They have a lot of fill that's coming out of there. It's a lot of clay that's being hauled out.
Gotcha, cool.
Austin,
Yeah, yeah,
it's all yours, Austin.
the chief had asked a couple other things before I get into this. One, Senate Bill 3484 on electric micromobility devices. So that's gonna pertain to our ordinance that we currently have right now. Our ordinance just follows the state law. State law is changing and updating, so we're gonna have to update that. There's some provisions that go into effect July 1st. And then there's some others that will go into effect January of 2027. So started working on a red line of our ordinance to get that to the city council as soon as possible with it. Some of the notable changes, it's just mainly definitions for the most part that they're categorizing this. You can see for scooters, they have changed that. They moved that from 18 years of age to 16 years of age now. They also lowered the speed from the maximum speed to be 15 miles an hour to now 10 miles an hour for that. That is difficult for us, I will say. They are not marked that they go 15 or 10 miles an hour, whereas the e-bikes, they're marked as classifications 1, 2, and 3. There's a lot of different rules when it comes to the e-bikes and the e-motorcycles that we'll call them. So just in the sense of we already were under the impression of the rules and regulations with that, it just codified it better to stipulate exactly what the state law is and the adherence to that. So one thing to also note that the state law identified that e-scooters shall not be ridden on the sidewalk. So that is a provision that we are allowing. The state is trying to mandate that to make that uniform along the municipalities, and that even applies to home rule cities too. So a lot of little tweaks in there. We will get that information out to the public and be able to update that as soon as we can as this goes in effect. The Illinois Municipal League just updated this end of May. So again, we're trying to keep up with this as quick as we can too, as the law goes in effect. And we sent out a direct connect earlier this month, if not end of May. Our school resource officer has been making several presentations to the various middle schools and the high school, explaining all the laws with this. The principals, the superintendents have been extremely receptive to inviting us to speak to the students about this, to get this information out. So it is getting better. We haven't seen all the issues that we were having last year, not to say that they're gone, but it does seem like we're getting the word out, at least on how to operate these safely and within the law. So thank you all for pushing that message out too.
Austin, with the state law then obviously taking over any local laws, what will be enforcement then? I mean, obviously we'll enforce on a local level, but will that change like fines or issue? I mean, how is that gonna change?
There's no variation to the fee structure, so it just changed where it is kept in the statute. The statute number changed or the statute definition changed, but the fine schedule and all of that is in there. It did appear to actually identify that we can tow these vehicles when necessary and impound them, and that is something that we've already been doing. We believe that the state law had allowed us to do that, and it identified that even further for even scooters and e-bikes.
Right, and I just, once again, I'm stressing to parents who are the ones purchasing these devices for their children that many of them are way below the required age. And I mean, it's just, and as Eric shared with us, Alderman Gustafson earlier, people getting, very much hurt. But, most of the youths I'm seeing operating them are, probably well under age 14.
Yeah.
And so these have been bought for them for Christmas, for birthdays. They're not going out and doing it. I'm just begging the parents, that needs to stop because, your children are at risk, and then we as drivers of vehicles are at risk of hitting them when they don't follow the rules of the road.
I've got a pack of at least 10 of them that go up and down my street all the time doing wheelies and stuff. Half of them have helmets on and half of them don't. What's the rule with helmets?
There's no rule.
Yeah, there's no law in Illinois for helmets.
So they don't have to wear a helmet either.
Correct.
Even motorcycles.
Even
There's very-
motorcycles.
There's very few states that we're aware of that have
Right.
helmet regulations for bicycles.
But yeah, I mean, you can see them going up and down my street constantly, and they're all seeing who can do the biggest wheelie. And it's just scary to watch them.
There were some good things also to bring up for the youth in this. It does identify what a toy vehicle is, so we're not trying to ticket someone that's driving their Power Wheels car or a scooter that goes below 10 miles an hour identifies a Razor scooter specifically in the statute now. So for parents that are worried about that is not the goal of this. They can still take their kids out in the Power Wheels car on the bike trails or with them on their walks, and that's fine. So again, to your point, it's the parental responsibility. We have charged that on numerous occasions now and been successful with those prosecutions. So when warranted, we will utilize that.
Great.
And these kids are going 30 to 40 miles an hour.
And there are several of the motorcycles, e-motorcycles, e-motors that are out there. It's no different than a Tesla. You wouldn't buy a kid a Tesla, you would not buy a kid an e-motorcycle to be running around the neighborhood like that. So, speaking of some of the tools that we use for these e-motorcycles where we've caught juveniles or adults that have run from the police on these motorcycles, we've used our drone. We've also used our LPR system for other vehicles that have fled from us. We did put out a community alert recently in the Direct Connect about the LPRs, and we just want to report one. Darien has 10 that are operational right now. We have 6 that are pending in permits. Right now, DuPage County has over 560 LPR cameras that are out there. State police have over 580. You can see on the various websites right now where they are. They are gaining a lot of attention, both positive and negative. So we work to address a lot of the concerns that were voiced by not only our own community, but others. So one, Darien Police Department is not quietly installing these. We come to the city council to have get the approval of them. They've been around since I believe 2024 now. Another claim was the cameras record every car every day, even if you're not suspected of a crime. A license plate that drives by one of the cameras in the 10 positions that we have right now, yes, it does scan the license plate. That there is a Illinois Supreme Court law that allows that. U.S. Also federal law allows for that. It is not an unreasonable search or seizure. This is not us trying to identify anything other than criminal activity. Someone came in, did a burglary, a hit and run. We've also used it for non-criminal things such as missing persons cases, and they've been extremely helpful for us. The manpower hours that this saves is absolutely phenomenal. There was a recent case in San Francisco that gained national attention. It was an armed robbery for Pokemon cards, and they were able to get the license plate scans immediately, put their drone up, follow the suspects as they went into another business. They came out and they were able to apprehend them immediately with what appeared to be no issue. So there's been countless cases that we've been able to. We had a burglary at a commercial business in town. We were able to identify where that vehicle was. It was in southern Cook County, and we were able to tow that vehicle within 48 hours of the burglary and recover that vehicle. So it has been absolutely a game changer for the department.
So what's the negative against these cameras?
A lot of people believe that it's, or
Just
we're
Big Brother
spying.
watching them
Yeah,
or
and-
what?
Yes, and watching that, one of the claims was this, what next, we're gonna put microphones out there. Illinois is a two-party consent, we can't spy on conversations, we need a warrant for that. There's several things when it comes to that, but a license plate in public view, such as Cass Avenue, 75th Street, Plainfield Road, where these are, an officer can run that license plate.
Right.
It's no different, we don't have traffic cameras, speed cameras, or anything like that. They're not out there to issue citations or take enforcement action. Once there is a scan that registers as a wanted subject or a stolen vehicle, it gives us an alert. We have to look to confirm that, to make sure we can't just take action based on that. We have to confirm in the system that it is stolen, that the entry is a legitimate hit for that vehicle or that subject, and then we can start building our case to take enforcement action to stop that vehicle, to confirm if that's the vehicle or that's the driver. So, again, just wanted to address some of the things that have come up in the community and let you know where we stand on that and address any concerns that you have. Is there anything else on that? All right. This is a system that became, or a platform that came to light after the budget year, unfortunately for us. I've been working with the company on a proposal for the city and was able to get this to Dan and the chief earlier in the year. They liked what they saw with it. We were able to do a test or a pilot program of it, which I can show you here tonight. So what I would like to propose is subscribing to a traffic intelligence platform called Urban SDK. This is being utilized by over 200 law enforcement agencies, Lombard, Hinsdale, Wheaton, Bolingbrook, just to name a few in the area. What happens when we get a speeding complaint or a traffic complaint is either it goes to City Hall, comes to the police department, or goes to Public Works, and Dan will field that out to the police department whether to act on or to act on this. So when we get these, in some cases, Dan will put out physical counters out there to monitor the traffic, speed, traffic volume. Also, the police department will generate directed patrols, and you've seen this in the monthly reports or the annual reports that the chief completes. In 2025 alone, we had 29 separate directed patrol campaigns across 27 different locations throughout the city. That was roughly 194 hours of time that the officers logged on that. And what we found was about 3/4 of those, if not less, were not credible. Or sorry, 3/4 if not more, it turned out to be unfounded or more of a perception issue that there was speeding going on. There was one traffic study in particular that Dan was requested to do that he did, and it resulted in the 85th percentile for the speed, which is the metric that is nationally recognized, was below the speed limit. So here that was hours that he had to take to put the system out, to have one of his employees spend the time and effort to put that out, monitor for 2 weeks, and then extract the data, all for nothing, that we could simply use a system like this that can analyze it immediately and be proactive about it, so that the police department can see it, Public Works can see it, and now we know where there are hotspots in town, where are there problems. But when someone comes up in the community and says, I have a speeding problem on my street, we can get into the numbers of that. It could be a perception issue based on size of the road, size of the vehicles, time of day. It could also be that there is truly a problem, that we need to take a traffic calming measure, figure out what's going on. It could also just be one or two individuals that are the problem, that we need to address it just with those. Or peak times, days, rush hour, things like that. So this is the system. They've granted us access just to 1 month's worth of data, and the data that they can give us is up to 13 months. We can extract it for days of the week. We can extract for 1 day segments all the way out to that 13-month segment. So if we want to pull just a month, we can do that too. So some of the hotspot areas. This technology just won't let me tonight.
The mouse may have went to sleep. Turn it off, turn it back on.
There we go. So for the city of Darien, here are all our roadways, and it will allow us to access any of the streets in here. So one in particular, Manning, that we get several traffic complaints on for speeding. It will run the analytics for us right away, and we're able to pull up what the average speed is, the 85th percentile, and then also the traffic volume for there. In the reports that it runs, it also gives us, it breaks it down through time of day in about 3-4 hour segments, allowing us to be able to see exactly, is this a rush hour issue? Is it Saturday, Sunday, a weekend issue of people traveling to go to Walmart or other commercial businesses in town? Allow us to pinpoint for that. We've had great success with this, and again, this is just the January data. We've had multiple complaints on Farmingdale Drive, Carriage Greens, Manning, Bailey, Ripple Ridge, just to name a few, while we had this system, and we were able to run the analytics and send this back to Public Works and also the resident to let them know what the issue is on their street when it comes to traffic. I can't speak to necessarily the Public Works side of the house, so if, Dan, you have anything when it comes to the measures that you have to take for this and the impact that this has on your side?
Oh, yeah, it's all I can say is, this is really a system that, I mean, instantly, if a resident calls today, we can tell you what their speed was 2 weeks ago or up to 13 months ago. Whereas it would take us, okay, we get the work order in, another 2 weeks, we analyze it, send it back to the police department. This is instant information. We all know that there's always this perception of speeding just by visualization, and at the same time, they're really unfounded, and when they are founded, they're basically residents within that quadrant. But this is instantaneous.
What I like about it is that you could have a resident who calls and says, on Bailey Road, people are speeding. And let's say the speed limit is 30 miles an hour, and you click onto this, and it shows you that 80% of the people who travel at 32 miles an hour. So you really don't have speeding on that street. So it's a perception issue. You save the cost of Dan putting down
Yeah, the equipment, we probably save easily on the whole operation, 5 to 8 hours per time, per event.
and then you're sending an officer out there sometime to monitor that area as well.
Generally.
Like you said, it's 100 and some hours that you spent doing that. This tells you right away.
Correct.
What's the cost on this per year?
It is $24,000 a year.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, is it 24,000 for Bolingbrook, or is it 24,000 for Darien, or is it based on population, or?
Roads, yeah. The
Oh,
road
road
size,
size, okay.
yeah. So
So the 24,000 is based on our numbers with Darien?
it would be essentially the data that
Okay.
you're getting. So if
Gotcha.
you're, we'll say astute with AI, the amount of tokens that they need to go through with this.
So it does pay for itself then? Okay, gotcha, cool.
So, talking to other communities, that was one of the problems that they had with it was, they were getting these complaints, and they had a lot of residential areas, and they were putting up the traffic counters, the speed monitors, the speed trailers and things like that. And it was just never ending for them. So they were able to go to this system, they've been with it for a couple of years, and they said that the data is lining up completely with it. Dan had one that he was monitoring. He did his actually end of May, I believe. This is the data from January. They were very, very close.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Austin, could you do a Woodruff Street?
I cannot,
You
no.
cannot, just the area.
Yes, so you can see the system only lets me go into where the areas are purple to orange, and that represents any speed issues, so,
Can you do the more recent one we just did on,
Holly.
Yeah. I don't know if you could or not, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's.
So I have,
Access to it anymore, because of 30
Oh,
days.
okay.
Dan had one, it was right here in the 1800 block of Holly.
See if he still has the data.
So the system runs that, it will pull the data, and it'll generate this report for me. So it's kind of hard to see right there on the computer, but it'll pull up this report, and I was able to send this to Dan right away. Since we only had the data for January in here, I reached out to the company and said, we're trying to showcase this, can you send me the more recent one? They were able to send the data for the last 2 weeks of May, when he received this, and we were able to act on that. So this is the report that it generates. Speed limit 25, so there's the 85th percentile was 21 miles an hour. The average vehicle speed was 17 miles an hour. So again, that would have been an area where Dan would have had to take his measures to put the put the physical trackers out there and his technology, and then officers, we would be asking them for a 2-week period to monitor the area for speeding vehicles and whatnot. The one thing that was interesting with this, when we were able to run it, that I was able to act on, it has the average 85th percentile breakdowns. So if you notice, one of these periods is 33 miles an hour on Friday. And I believe that is the 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. time frame. So now I was able to tell patrol, I need you to go out here from 4 to 7 on Friday and tell me who the 1 or 2 individuals are that are driving this number up right now. Because
Is that you?
No, okay.
in that
Just Joe Kenny.
Fair enough.
in that time period,
Going to church.
we were able to see the traffic volume 2, which was a very small number of vehicles traveling on there. So there's 1 or 2 people that, for some reason on Friday, they're getting out of bed late or something to that extent. It will get eastbound or westbound traffic or northbound or southbound, so we can identify the flow of that. It will not identify the individual vehicle. All I can do is get a 1-day shot, but it monitors the data of all the vehicle traffic on there.
Austin, you started talking, the map itself has different colors. It gives you an indication of hot spots. Could you just talk about that for a second?
Correct. So the system itself would give us I believe it is a weekly update, weekly or monthly, that would be sent out, emailed to us on where there's issues within our community. There's the legend that's up here that's giving us where the biggest violators are. If you look, it's actually I-55 that people are traveling at the highest speeds. After working midnights for several years, yes, I can testify to there are a lot of vehicles going over 90 miles an hour on I-55. But remember, this is over the speed limit, and generally it's actually Cass Avenue is one of our biggest offenders with it, and Clarendon Hills Road was another one. Cars going the 85th percentile were over 10 over the posted speed limit. So especially with construction traffic going on Cass Avenue, we could see an increase of traffic volume on Lamont. And now, because of that, we can deploy our resources to go monitor that better, because Cass Avenue has been slowing down and their traffic volume is less. Or it's pushing cars to a side street that they're trying to cut through on 79th Street or on Bailey. All of a sudden, our traffic volumes have peaked because of some kind of road construction going on. Now we know how to monitor that and where to deploy our resources.
Austin, if we purchase this, how do we utilize it? Is someone gonna be assigned to monitor this once a week, twice a week, or only when somebody calls and says, this is happening or that's happening? How does it get utilized?
So the system itself will send us a report via email. So it could go directly to me. I can also have it go to the sergeants or any of the users on here. I would like to just have the patrol supervisors have access to this so that they can monitor that and they get that report to actively follow that so that we can be proactive and not reactive when it comes to these speeding issues.
Last question for me. Does this send you an email or alert you like of hotspot areas that may pop up?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It gives you the, essentially this report, but it would give you it for Darien. So I have very limited access in this
Okay.
training site. I can't run it per day. I can't run it anything outside of January right now.
Okay.
That's the only data they'll allow me to have.
For this thing, but you can get it.
Yes, and
Okay,
that's
great.
same thing. I can go out to 13 months. I can go out to, there's been speeding just over the summer months. We used to get it during Darien Fest, that because Clarendon Hills Road was shut down, that 67th was a cut through and some of the other streets in there, obviously. So during school year could be another thing. If Dan puts out a traffic calming measure, did this actually work? What was the before, what is the after, and what's the analysis with that?
Cool. Gotcha.
Now, this is a package that every year you're paying $25,000.
Correct.
Okay. And we didn't have this in the budget, so what would we need to do, Brian?
Well, I would suggest that it would go to probably the police committee.
Okay.
And they could do a closer look at everything and make a recommendation back. I don't know the chief, the forfeiture funds, if there's enough to cover this the first year. So it'd just be an addition to the budget. It's, in the scheme of things, it's not a large number. And it would probably take another couple of months, I would say, maybe to go through the committee back to council.
The forfeiture funds, I think there's about $7,000 there. To remind you, body worn cameras, extremely expensive, well over 100,000. Fleet cameras, over 100,000. Tasers, I don't remember what those were. And evidence.com and some other purchases. So we saved a tremendous amount of money out of the well over 300,000, but that money has been depleted. They're not very fast on getting their the release of seized funds into forfeited funds.
I think we're chasing good money after great, to be honest with you with this. It really does.
We're in the process of the audit now. Julie, have a pretty good idea, some tentative draft numbers. Typically, we're over, our fund balance increases. Again, this is a small amount of money for something I think is tremendous. That's why we want to bring it to the council now. So it would just be an approval by the council.
It's a good service to the community, so
Yeah.
really up to council.
We
to
wouldn't
see.
go through admin
Imagine
finance, we
all
would just go
they had that same
based on the
question.
recommendation of the police.
Yeah,
committee.
I would say it's really, the money's is pretty black and white. We either have it or we don't. But operationally, I think it's really interesting to go. And then obviously anybody can attend the police committee meeting, but I would suggest they go there.
How does the council feel about it? Do you think it's a worthy
100%.
purchase?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, the man hours we're gonna save just is unreal over a long term.
Austin, do you have to ask them to extend the period where it's live if you want to show it to the police committee?
I would just ask it. I don't anticipate an issue. So they've been gracious enough for me to have access to this for about a month already. I'm able to respond to citizen concerns and assist Dan with any concerns that he has been given, and it's been a worthwhile tool just in this brief amount of time. And now we're coming up on summer months where people are going to be out seeing vehicles and perceiving whether they're traveling at a higher rate of speed or not. So we want to get this data as soon as we can so that we can act on it.
I'd like to see us get this to the council ASAP.
We have two members of the police committee here that have seen it. Alderman Kenny could certainly watch it on YouTube, this particular part. I'm suggesting it go to police committee, but if the council's interested and feel they have enough information, there's no reason to go to the committee. But actually, the police committee might meet before the next city council meeting. That's their normal date, so we're not
The thing is,
losing any time if it
We don't
goes to
have
the police
another,
committee.
we don't have another council meeting though till the third Monday in July. Do you wanna wait that long? I mean, the summer months, this would be very valuable to have for the summer months, correct?
Yeah, it's absolutely crucial.
We
This is
couldn't
We can't
vote on
prove it tonight. No, we
We
couldn't
can't
approve it
put it on-
tonight. You'd have to have some
Right.
special meeting, but there's probably some paperwork, ordering, time lags, I would imagine. And again, to save time, if you want it to go to the police committee, it can go that same evening at police committee and then on the same night for city council.
I'd like to see that happen.
Yeah, me too. I don't think we should wait, to be honest with you.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I like to see it if, like I said, you have 2 or 3 people on the police committee who saw it tonight. So, like you said, Alderman Kenny could be brought up to date on it by watching tonight's meeting, or he can sit and, he can meet with Austin and see a presentation like I did and like you did. And get it on the council agenda for the third Monday in July.
Okay.
All right, thanks, everybody. Thanks, Austin.
Austin, thank you.
Thank you, Austin.
Any questions for Austin? Thank you, Deputy Chief. Appreciate it. All right. That takes us to the warrant. Treasurer Corrin.
Thank you, Mayor. I know you'll all be disappointed that we only have one warrant this evening, but it's because the auditors have finished their field work. Audit is not completed yet. They're pending the actuarial report on the police pension fund, which is obviously a big number that'll be going into there.
Bless you.
This evening, I'm requesting council's approval of warrant number 262704 in the amount of $1,393,909.38 from the listed funds. Payroll for the period ended June 11th in the amount of $362,486.39. Total will be approved $1,756,395.77.
Motion to approve. Alderman Belzak, second by Alderman Shower. Any questions or comments? If not, the roll.
Belzak.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
Stompanato.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
5 ayes, 2 absent.
It's been approved. Takes us to scanning committee reports. Any of the chairs have reports. Alderman Belzak.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Municipal Services Committee will be meeting, or scheduled to meet next Monday, June the 22nd, at 6 p.m. in council chambers.
Thank you very much. Alderman Stompanato.
The police committee meeting tonight was canceled due to lack of quorum. And we are scheduled for July 20th, which will be that third week in July, at 6 o'clock across the street.
Thank you. Alderwoman Sullivan.
Since the first meeting in July is canceled, July 6th, the next Admin Finance Committee meeting will be on Monday, August 3rd at 6 p.m. in the City Hall Conference Room.
And the Darien Action Committee met a week ago Saturday. When the minutes of that meeting are been compiled, we will get that to you. We had a very good meeting. We had a good turnout. We talked a lot about what each of the organizations are going to do to help celebrate the 250th anniversary. I also wanted to note that one of the things that we talked about at that meeting was the new mural that's over by the clock tower. Dee Mudders, who's a Lions Club member, got a group of artists from, I believe, Downers Grove South High School. And we approved the design. They went through the design stage, what they wanted it to look like. Home Depot donated $200 worth of paint and materials. They painted it over at Dee's house. John Carr picked it up about a week ago, and he put it over by the clock tower. So if you get a chance, take a look at the 250th anniversary mural that's right in front of the clock tower. With that then, our questions and comments agenda related. Any questions regarding our agenda? If none, we move to old business. There being no old business, we move to the consent agenda. And just as a reminder, item A under new business has been made item E under consent. Bear with me. Item A motion to approve the purchase of a HP Color Laser Jet Printer for $4,900 and a one-year maintenance agreement for $720 from CDS Office Technologies in an amount not to exceed $5,620. Item B, a motion to approve the expenditure of budgeted funds, line item 0140-4325, consulting professional services for 1 year law enforcement policy manual update subscription from Lexipol LLC in an amount of $12,184. Item C, an ordinance amending various sections of Title IX Traffic Regulations, Chapter 5 Vehicle Code of the City of Darien City Code. Item D, a motion to adopt a memorandum of understanding regarding social worker services between New Page Communities, formerly NEDFYS, and the Darien Police Department. And item E, ordinance amending section 3-3-7-3, Class C license of the Darien City Code. Motion to approve. Alderman Stompanato, seconded by Alderwoman Sullivan, and the roll.
Stompanato.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Belzak.
Aye.
Shower.
Aye.
Gustafson.
Aye.
5 ayes, 2 absent.
The consent agenda has been approved. It takes us to questions and comments again, and announcements. Any announcements anybody has for the council? Alderwoman Sullivan.
Thank you, Mayor. The City of Darien is going to have their first summer concert, which I'm very much looking forward to, on June 25th, which is a week from Thursday. The location this year is Carriage Greens North Parking Lot, so please note that. The concerts go from 6 to 9. The June 25th concert will be the band Fuse. They are a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame artists, Carlos Santana group, and they will entertain us, I'm sure. Everyone can enjoy food from local restaurants. Please bring your family, friends, and bring something to sit on. You are in a parking lot versus, there's less grass at Carriage Greens to sit on compared to Westwood Park, so you're gonna want a chair. And they are collecting cleaning supplies and canned goods to donate to the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Food Pantry. The Darien Women's Club is helping advocate for that. And then the following 2 concerts, July 30th is Dick Diamond and the Dusters, and then August 27th is Heart to Heartbreaker. So very much looking forward to the concert.
So 3.
And just to piggyback on that, our annual Darien Fest will be held on the 7th, 8th, and 9th of August. This year it's going to be held on Clarendon Hills Road between Elm and 75th Street. Jessica and April went over there today to look at possible layout, where the tent's going to go, where the stage is going to go, where the vendors are going to go. And last Friday, we had a meeting between Tom Pantoni from the Darien Lions Club and I believe her name, Wendy Cozio, and Chris Snow from the Women's Club to talk about how they are going to be able to coordinate liquor sales. The Women's Club is going to sell the seltzer, the Truly, and the wine, and the Lions are going to sell the beer. And so we had to work together. We're going to coordinate how that's going to happen, ticket colors, who's going to do this, who's going to do that. And we currently have 26 women who have been trained, Bassett trained. We have 30 Lions who've been Bassett trained. So heaven knows that we have the staff. And as Tom would say, if I got 30 Lions who are trained, he said I may have 15 of them who show up to work. So, and Tom was great because he was able to tell Wendy what can go right, what's going to go wrong. But it was a good meeting. And again, Darien Fest is going to be very exciting this year because again, it's the 250th anniversary of the United States. And we're going to have a couple of things that we're going to showcase. The other thing, before I forget, and I thought maybe Tom Belzak would mention it, but we have the July 4th parade coming up. We only had 38 entries so far. And from what I understand, I was the only elected official who filled out a form. So that's why I sent it out to you guys. Again, Mary got back to me. Tom, I did send you a new copy of it. Be nice to have quite a few elected officials involved, but hopefully we'll get more towards the end. But July 4th, starting at Jewel, down Cassie Avenue to 71st, all the way down to Clarendon Hills Road, over to Hinsdale South High School. And that's all I have. Anybody else? If none, motion to adjourn, Alderman Shower, seconded by Alderman Stompanato. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.